Hello, Dave Moore here with PITC, and today we're going to be going over the testing procedure for an RPBA. The device we will be testing is a Watts 909. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to flush and bleed our test cocks. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our high hose and connect it to test cock 2. During this part of the test, we're going to be establishing our pressure differential across check 1, or checking check 1 and forward. As always, we're going to pressurize and bleed our gauge. Once we've bled our gauge, we're going to close it and isolate our device. To check our check and forward, we're going to open up test cock 3. And this is going to establish our pressure differential across check 1. Right now we're sitting at 8.4. We need to be above 5 psi for this test, so that would be a pass. The next part of this test is we test when our relief will open. Our relief has to open before 2 psi and maintain a 3 psi buffer between it and check 1. We do this by opening our needle valve slowly on our gauge. And there our air relief has opened at about 4.8, so well above the minimum 2, so that's a pass. At this point we're going to open up the needle valve fully to vent our high side completely so that we exercise that relief. We're then going to close test cock 2, test cock 3, remove our high hose from test cock 2. We're going to re-establish pressure within our device. We're going to re-establish flow through our device. Then we're going to take our high hose and connect it to test cock 3. This part of the test, we're testing our second check in forward. On an RP, we're unable to test check 1 in reverse. Just going to open up test cock 3 slowly, pressurizing our gauge. We're going to bleed all the air out of our gauge. We're going to isolate our device. And we're going to open up test cock number 4. So we're checking check 2 and forward. We have a minimum of a 1 pound spring on check 2. We're holding at 2.5 psi. So in this test, that would be a pass. We wait for 2 minutes. If our needle stays constant for 2 minutes, we're moving on. Isolate our test cocks. Take our high hose off of test cock 3, and we're going to move it to test cock 4. We're going to re-establish pressure in our device. And we're going to re-establish pressure in our gauge. And bleed all the air out of our gauge. And isolate our device. The last test we're going to do on the RP is we're going to check check 2 in reverse flow. So we're going to open up test cock 3. We're going to drop our pressure to a readable level. And we're going to observe for 2 minutes. If our needle stays constant for 2 minutes, again, this test passes and our device is put back into service.